Surprise, motherfucker!
Looks like you're fucked.
Hello, I'm M.
And I'm you, and this is Gamer Review. And we're gonna hit 5 main points what we think are most important: gameplay, combat, graphics, scope, and price. First on the list is gameplay.
The quests in this game, they have no story, and the lack of reward is obviously evident. The lack of depth in any regard is also very disappointing. Good thing is that they're very simple and easy to pick up, and if you're somebody that has no time on their hands, just wants to play a quick game, and you don't really have to put too much time into it.
Next up, graphics. Now let's talk about these graphics for a second. First off, the freaking water is amazing. It's phenomenal. The reflections from the moon or the sun reflecting on any rocks or the water or your ship, it's so smooth and it's subtle, but it just works. It's like it's meant to be in this game. Now, the style of the characters it's unique. It fits the style of this game, by all means, but it's quirky, it's kind of funny, and they kind of go with this kind of like a funny, serious, not serious kind of style. I could go on and on about the graphics and my opinion on it, but honestly, it's up to you guys. Next on the list, scope.
So this game is trying to be an open world pirate game. It really isn't. The actual arena and area that you play in is not closed off from the outside. However, if you do go outside, you'll get attacked by various creatures, including the Kraken, and there's no real point to going outside. I mean, there's no quests out there. There's no pirates or anything like that. So you're basically confined to the actual active area.
Now let's talk about combat.
Just something about running around in armor and wielding a sword and things like that it really speaks to me. It's just something I'm really interested in. That being said, this game is a pirate game, so you're gonna have multiple points of combat. You have melee combat, you have firearms, you have cannons, which are used with ship-to-ship battles, and of course you have the battles with not only like the AI that are in the game itself, but also the times when you're running around and you actually encounter another player. Now, as far as the PvE side of it, it's relatively easy to go and defeat these different enemies. Most of them are just skeletons. Obviously, the largest enemies are the ghost ships and the Kraken, but I think that the way that the developers, how they made everything kind of click together, it was more about being simple than it was about, I don't want to say realistic, but about being detailed. The fact that you walk up on an island and you encounter a skeleton, you bring out your sword or your pistol, whatever it is, whatever firearm you're carrying. But let's just say you bring out your sword and you start engaging with that skeleton. That skeleton has a sword. There should be some sort of even button combination, something, not just hack and slash. You slash, you move, you slash, you move. There's a lot of games out there like that. This game had so much more potential for that due to the fact that it was more of a kind of cartoony style game. They didn't have to incorporate a whole lot of, I guess, realism within the graphics line. So there's room data-wise for that, for them to implement things like durability, for them to implement things like weapon speeds, weapon weights, the dismemberment system. Zelda Ocarina of Time, which came out many years ago, almost 2 decades ago, you would fight a skeleton and you would take its head off and it would walk around without its head on. It was amazing. Now we're on an Xbox One and PC, and we've got a similar style game with basically updated graphics in a different environment, but you're just hacking away at a skeleton until it blows up. The same thing with using a firearm. You use your pistol, your blunderbuss, or your sniper rifle, and it doesn't really matter where you hit them, the same thing happens, they just blow up. So I think that they could have done something a little bit more like I said, not necessarily realistic, but more detailed. Have a little bit more to it than that, make it more immersive, more fun. The cartooniness, you could make it more funny, more humorous, you know. Ship-to-ship battles. Something I did like about that was that the cannons, when you would fire them, where you would place that shot, if you placed it below the waterline, the ship that you hit would actually sink faster because it was below the waterline. If it was above the waterline, the water wouldn't pour in as fast. So that makes sense. But I don't think that there's nearly enough devastation, because back then those cannonballs were big hunks of metal. Big, massive hunks of metal. But they didn't all weigh the same either, and they weren't all the same shape. They were generally a round ball, but they weren't all the same shape. And the wood that people would use to actually make ships was different too, depending on where you were. Now, I know this isn't supposed to necessarily be a historically accurate game based on timeline or location, but they could have done something more to that. They could have made it so that the cannonballs, you know, could blow off pieces of your ship, or even take out your sails, like, you know, take out your rudder, like, you know, destroy your ability to turn. Just things like that, simple things that I think that they really missed out on.
Now for the finale, let's talk about our final thoughts.
So, we really enjoyed playing the game, but let M explain it.
I think that the game is a solid game for a short term. Like, as I said, having a night out with your buddies online, pop in this game, you go out and you do some raiding, kill some skeletons, maybe you do like a major raid against Ghost Ship or the Kraken. But after you do that, it kind of dissipates. There's not a lot of content in it. The scope of it is not big enough. There's just not enough meat to the actual meal to actually satisfy.
Oh, I completely agree with you, because I'm a huge endgame person, and you know, when I jump into a game, I want to know what the end game is. I want to do those raids. I want to do bounty hunts. I want to go diving in the ocean and hunting sharks and putting it up on, you know, the front of my ship and showing it off to other players. Yeah. I think that'd be really cool. And, you know, it could even act just as a trophy. Just that. Or even hidden caverns or underwater caves that you could, you know, explore. Go into a wooden barrel and go under and, you know, discover new things. Because there's so many things that they could do with this, and they just don't.
I think that the combat, although simple and easy to pick up, again, no meat to the bones.
Have a couple drinks, play with your friends, be Captain Jack Sparrow for an hour or two. Is it worth the, what, $59 price tag on it?
Yeah, it was $59.99. I just checked that not too long ago.
And what do you think it's worth it? Do you think it should be free? Do you think it should be like worth $9?
Well, I didn't buy this game. I got it for free on Xbox with EA Access, or not EA Access, sorry, Game Pass.
Yeah, yeah, but to everyone else out there, do you think they should?
No, I don't think it's worth the money.
Yeah,
I really don't. It's just, it's like I said, this is a game that you could easily replace with something a bit different. And yeah, let us know your thoughts.
Yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was hell of a lot of fun making it. So leave a like, leave a subscribe, and tell us what you think. Until next time,
This is M,
this is you,
and this is Gamer Review.